software during this training. So basically, we might have seen different things. We might be already knowing different things with the Android, but before starting or going into the details of it, first we'll see whether what is there in this course, what is specific about what is more specific about this course. So that we'll first have a short look into it, and then we'll move ahead towards the Android part. So basically, I would like to first of all introduce myself, that I have been working for many years into the software development field, and apart from that, I'm taking the trainings as well into the different software technologies like Java, Android, and Linux-based technologies as well. So the course contents that have been designed or that we are going to have take during this course have been developed from the taking into the consideration of the needs or requirements of the people who have just started into this Android field, as well as for those people who have many years of experience into this field, right? So if we consider this course, so in this course we do not assume or pre-assume anything from the candidate side, that he should know something before this, he should have some experience on the Android, because the specialty of this courses, it is suitable for a new learner who is just starting the Android, as well as it will have many things into it which are going to fast forward the development skills of an experienced developer as well. So this is how this course has been designing. So many times we have some questions in mind, like, is this course right for me? So this course is going to help everybody, whether a new learner or an experienced person, to step ahead into their Android development career or an Android development path. Okay, so that is how this course has been designed. And apart from this, so this is a short, a brief introduction about the course and how it has been designed. So, and what is the main important thing about it is how we are going to learn Android through this. So this is going to be the important thing. So the way it has been designed, so we come across lots of applications in our mobile phones, maybe iPhone or Android, and we are regularly using them. So what happens? How we are going to learn Android through this during this course is we are going to take some part of application. Let's say we have an application of a notepad. So what we'll do, we'll take a small part of it while learning, and we are going to develop it during this course. So we'll understand, okay, how this application works, how to apply this technology or how to apply this knowledge in a practical way. Okay, let's say we have a media player. So in this we'll take a small one part of it, that how to run audio files, how to execute video files. So all such different things we are going to see, means the applications that we, if you the one thing you will notice during this course is while learning we take some simple examples, but they are actually the part of the applications that are actually that we use regularly, and they are not just a dummy examples just to demonstrate something something in the course, right? So if we collect this knowledge, we are developing this small parts of an applications, as I said just now. So if we collect all these things together, so we'll get enough skills and we'll have enough knowledge to develop application or on our own. So this is assured for this course. Right. So, and apart from this, as I said, so we are going to develop applications, and I'm going to give some assignments to candidates as well. So what will happen? So like we will lay a foundation during the course, and now I'll give some assignments to enhance the skills further. And let's say you will try at your place, and you will keep on thinking how to develop this app, how to design this part, then how to apply this logic. So it will enhance your own professional skills, development skills, as well as design skills. And if you face any issue while working on the assignments or while developing the apps, so we'll discuss them in the coming sessions. So we'll try to solve this. Okay, so now saying this, saying this about the how we are going to learn, what is going to be there in the course, how are we going to conduct it. So we'll start from as I said, very basics of it, means right from what are the requirements to start an Android course. So we'll start with those requirements, even what softwares are required to install it, then how to install it, how to install those softwares, where to get them from, then what versions might be required for our specific machine or laptop. So all these things we'll discuss while during the start of the course, and gradually we'll move towards the actual development of applications. And you will find at one point that we are moving from a basics Android development to a more advanced and complex level of application developments. Right. So during this course, as I said, so it is going to there will be many points. In every session there will be many things that are going to help the newcomer as well as the experienced professionals. That is going to take him ahead into his Android development career. Or even if someone wants to, let's say, work as a freelancer, or even wants to develop app for himself, so he will have enough skills to do that, to develop an app. So so this is regarding the course that we have seen. So now let's have a look at some course content as well. So if we see the course contents here, so basically, we say that this is an Android development training, but this is not just an Android development training. After completion of this, the person will actually get enough knowledge and skills that he will to become an Android developer himself. Because the goal of this course and the ultimate success of this course is only that one should be able to develop an app, and not how much someone knows about the Android. So the 80% part of this training is going to be the practical part. We'll demonstrate here something, we'll discuss some concepts, and we'll give some assignments. So also that those assignments, if we face some issues, so we'll discuss them in the next session. So this way only 10 to 20% part is going to be theory, otherwise 80% part will be a practical part of it. So during this course, you will get the confidence to work on Android technology, as well as to develop your own apps using different technologies, different resources available in the Android. Okay. So now if we have a look at this course content, so we'll start from the very basics of the Android. What are different mobile operating systems available? Why Android? Why is it so famous? What makes it stand out in the mobile operating system market? So all these things we are going to discuss. Then we'll move a little bit towards the architecture of Android operating system, how it is made, what it is made up of, what are different layers of it. So that we are going to consider. And then we will learn to set up our own environment to start Android application development. So we'll discuss these things, how to set up environment, what softwares to install. So this will be the next part of it, and after setting up the environment, we'll actually start developing some part of an mobile applications. So how we are going to learn? We are going to learn by application and not by just theory or by just discussing the concept. We are going to apply something, and then we are going to learn how to do this, what to do to change certain design, or how to think, or how to apply the concepts that we have learned, so that our design becomes looks better, looks and feel wise, and as well as logically good. So all these things we are going to learn by applying what we have learned, by directly demonstrating it using the small, by developing the small applications, right? So let's say we'll start developing the applications after setting up the environment, and gradually we'll move towards the more complex part or more advanced part of it. So we'll see the Android technical view, how an Android applications are made up of, what are the internal components of the Android applications. So that we'll discuss and we'll see it practically. Then after that we'll start in detail the UI part. because if we see any mobile application, it consists of two important parts, and without these two parts we cannot have any mobile application. So first is UI and second is the logic behind that UI, or we can also call it a business logic. So what we mean, and whatever applications we might have seen till date, or we might have used till date, so these two parts are like two parts of a coin, two sides of a coin, because we cannot do away with anything. Like let's say if the UI, that is user interfaces, very interactive, very good, but the logic is not that good. Application is crashing or it is slowing down our mobile phone, so no one will use that application. Or even if the logic is very strong, but the UI is not that good and not that attractive, so even that is going to hamper the use of our application. So that is why we are going to learn both of these things parallelly. So after understanding the technicalities of the Android operating system, we are going to learn different views, that is how to develop different user interfaces. So it starts from a button, then radio boxes, check boxes, everything, how to develop forms, list views, grid views, everything we are going to see in detail. And not just the predefined components we are going to learn, but we are also going to learn how to create custom components as per our requirement. So that also we are going to learn. Then after learning the basic UI, we are going to learn how to build rich user interface, means that we see in professional applications. So that we are going to learn in the next part. Now till this part, there are notifications. What are notifications that we are going to learn? Then assets and resources. So while we going through these contents, there are many words one might find as a new words or new concepts. But the thing is that what happens with most people, we already use all these things. We regularly see every day. We see all these things in our mobile application, but we are just not aware what is called as notification. What are the assets? What are the resources? What are the adapters in our mobile applications? So that is why we feel that these concepts as a new one. But once we'll start learning this, so we will enjoy this journey of learning Android development as well as using our own mobile phones as well. Because we'll also be understanding the logic, what is happening exactly behind the application we are using it. So we are going to enjoy this part. So we are going to learn this notifications, asset resources, then what are different styles and themes that are available for us for user interface design. So now till this point if we see, so we have focused mostly on the user interface, means designing the looks and feels of an Android application. So now from this point ahead, what we are going to move, so we are going towards the internal things of the Android operating system. So till this point we have seen the design part. Now we'll move towards the internal things, internal architecture, what internal features and facilities are provided by the Android operating system. So that we are going to start from this intent topic. So intent filters, broadcast receivers. So what are these concepts, how to write our own broadcast receivers. So all we are going to learn into this. Then the most important part of the any mobile application is what methods or what ways are available for us or an Android developer to store the data in the mobile. So that we are going to learn into this. So we'll see some local ways of storing the data. Then we'll see how to store the data on the internal memory or SD cards. So that we will see. Then apart from that, we'll learn the most important thing in the data storage, that is SQLite database. So that we are going to learn. And we are also going to see the advanced contents, advanced concepts of content provider. Okay, so this is all about storing and sharing the data in mobile applications. So then there are lots of background services that are running in our mobile applications. So we are going to see how to write these background services. Then after that, we'll after learning the internal features of an Android operating system will gradually move towards the hardware part of mobile application development. Means how to use the hardware that is available on our mobile phones. So we'll start with multimedia, how to handle, play audio, visual, audio and video files that we are going to see. Then one of the most important topic nowadays in mobile application development is web services. So many of you might have heard this topic. So web services is basically uh, when we talk about let's say storing data in our mobile phone. So we are always talking about the local storage that is available, like SQL database or SD card or internal RAM. But web service helps us to store the data on let's say cloud or and make it available for the entire across the globe. And apart from this, we can also, using web services, we can load some data on the web server and also read the data from the web server. So lots of things into the into the web service. So we are going to learn these things also. So how to read data, how to write data into the web server, how to store data into it. So all these things we are going to discuss under the web services. Also how to access the websites from our mobile application. So that also we are going to cover under this topic. Now the one more interesting topic is location based services. So which includes finding out our own location or how to locate our let's say office or home or college on the Google Maps. So all these things will be covered in this topic. So let's start with
Hello, Nishant. Nishant?
hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
now we are able to hear you.
Okay, yeah, we'll continue. Yeah. Yeah. So generally, we use lots of sensors in our day-to-day life, like vibration sensors, accelerometer, proximity sensors. So we are just unaware that we are getting this result of the, or we are seeing some output on the mobile phone because of these sensors. So we are going to see this, how to use these sensors as well. Then after sensors, we are going to use this Bluetooth services, how to use Bluetooth services, how to scan the available uh, how to scan the different device, how to pair
Nishant?
different device. So this we are going to see.
Nishant?
Um, hello.
Yeah, actually, when you went, you are on mute or something like we were at web services. It seems.
Okay, fine. We'll start from there. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Web service is already completed, right, Grish? Okay, okay. I think.
Yes, I guess that time we were connected.
Okay, okay, fine.
Fine, we can discuss in short. Yeah, not a problem. Okay. So we'll just complete this part. So after Bluetooth, we are also going to see how to use camera in our phone in lots of applications. Like if we take an example of WhatsApp, even WhatsApp supports camera while we are chatting. So how to use camera in our applications that we are going to see. Then there is a Wi-Fi part. There is a Wi-Fi part that we'll learn how to enable disable Wi-Fi services in our mobile application. Then there are telephony services. So what do we mean by telephony services? So sending, receiving SMS, then making phone calls. What are different states of a phone? So all these things come under the telephony services. So this is regarding the hardware part of the mobile application development. So as we are discussing some part related to the web services, so I guess I'll just brush up this part. So web services we use basically to access the contents on the web server, which is not local to our machine, but which is available on some remote web server. So to access that content or to add some data into the web server, we use web services. So using these web services APIs, we either receive the data from server or store the data onto the server. So that we are going to see into this web service part. So we are actually going to see the demonstration of how to do this, then how to read the data that we have downloaded from the web server. So all these things we are going to see into this web services part. And apart from that, we are also going to see the Google Maps and all such location-based services, means how to track the location, how to get the address of particular location. So all such parts we are going to see under the location-based services. Okay, and now say if you see all these contents, so we are going to start from the very basics of the Android and its background till the very advanced topics like broadcast receiver, background services, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and using other hardwares also. Right. So seeing all this, then the most important topic that is left under this training is how, let's say we have created an app, mobile app, but how to make it available for other people, means how to deploy it on the Play Store. So that will be the last topic of this training. So we'll see how to add our app onto the Play Store. So that we are going to see in this deployment topic. Okay, so if we see all the course contents, so whether we are working somewhere or even if we are a student and we want to have let's say do some projects into this Android technology, or we are working as a freelancer, so it is going to help all such people in different roles to develop effective apps and very useful apps using all this training contents. So because as I said earlier, this is not just a training, but this is an developer training. Means we are going to become good developers while during when we are going to learn all these topics. Okay. So saying all this, so many times during this training, what happens? There are some subjects, there are some topics, or even some concepts related to technology that are very complex. So what do we mean by complex? So it is many times it is difficult or difficult to understand certain topics just by hearing into some words. So in such cases, what we are going to do, we are going to use some presentations for it, some diagrams for it to understand that topic. So like we have one of the presentations here. So we are trying to understand some difficult topics through presentations. Means it's not just that we are going to discuss something verbally and we'll develop some applications. but we are going to understand topics through pictures as well. Okay, so this is regarding a brief idea about what we are going to cover in this course, how we are going to learn it, what will be the what will be the role of your participation into it, because as much as you will work on this assignments and the topics that we are going to discuss, sorry, so that much questions we'll be able to discuss during this trainings. Okay, so this is regarding the the way we are going to deliver the contents and where we are going to learn. So now if we see what softwares we are going to use during this training. So first of all, to develop an Android app, we are going to use this Android Studio IDE. We are going to use this for application development. Right. So we are going to use this to develop design as well as to write the logic behind that design. So we are going to learn into details how to use this, how to develop applications using this Android Studio, what are features available into it. So we are going to learn all these things, and not just develop the application, but also how to debug applications using Android Studio. That also we are going to learn during the course. Now the important thing is, let's say we are developing some applications in everyday sessions. So how we are going to test this? So there are two ways we can test it. So the first way is we can directly install an application in our mobile phone and test it. And other way is we can use an emulator. Okay, so what is an emulator? Emulator is an we can say it's a kind of software which provides which provides us an environment such as a dummy mobile phone. Okay, so I'll show you an example of emulator. Okay, so this is an Genymotion emulator that we are going to use during our training. So we are going to deploy or install our softwares into this Genymotion emulator, and we are going to see into this how it is working, or it is creating some errors. So whatever is the result, we are going to see this using this emulator. So lots of features, it just works like a normal our mobile phone. Just the thing is that it is already available on this computer in the software format. So as I said, we are going to develop some applications, and by developing some parts of application, we are going to learn that technology. So I'll just give you an example of what kind of applications we are going to see, which are already installed into this. So let's say there is one application that is called this diary. Okay, so this is just a small example that how we can make an diary application. So like we have this edit text here, a location to add what we want to write in a diary. Okay, so let's write something here. Okay, so this we have written in our diary. Now what we'll do, we'll save this content, save it into the diary. Okay, so we have saved it. Now we'll clear the contents of this page. Okay, now let's say we want to read the diary what we have written it previously. So we can click on this read button. Okay, so we can see what we had already written. Okay, so this is just an example of how we are going to learn actual practical things through examples. So we are going to develop this application during our training. Even I'll show you one more example of the kind of application that we are going to see during the training. So we are already aware about the one application that is available in our mobile phone, that is called gallery. Okay, so what facility we have in gallery? So let's say we have a bunch of images or collection of images. So if we click on image, one image, so it opens up, and then through using the finger touch, we can scroll through this, or we can browse the images. Let's say we can move toward the next using a finger touch. We can move to the next image, or we can move to the previous image. So I'll just show you a demo of it, the application that we are going to develop. Okay, so let's say this is a collection of images. So now finger touch I'm going to simulate by using mouse. So let's move to the previous image. So by this finger touch, we are moving through the images that are available. Okay, when we can move forward. Okay, so using such practical examples, by using such practical applications, we are going to learn Android technology. So we are going to use Android Studio for that and this Genymotion emulator. So I'll exit this application. Yeah. So now we have a bit idea about this tools as well that we are going to use for Android application development. And we are going to use this Android Studio because initially people use Eclipse for this, but if we see the current market and the current development trends in the market, so most of the even companies are using Android Studio for development. So keeping in track with the latest trends, we are going to use Android Studio for our training. So having said all this, so let's have a brief idea about a bit of background about the Android. Let's try to understand it. So what is an Android? So basically it is an operating system. So like we have different operating systems like BlackBerry, Symbian operating system, iOS operating system, Windows. So one of the major player in the mobile uh, operating system market is Android operating system. So if we see, so what is the role of an operating system? So a user cannot use any hardware directly. So it needs some intermediate bridge to enable user to use that hardware. So basically operating system plays the role of this bridge, that it connects the user with the hardware so that user is able to use that hardware. Okay, so we'll just have a small introduction about this. So like Android system is a software stack. So now why it is called a software stack, that we'll understand when we'll go ahead into this session. So basically Android is a software stack for mobile devices that includes operating system, then middleware, key, and applications. So this is the software stack uh, that is a layered architecture of an Android operating system. Okay, so now let's say many candidates have already joined this training. So if you have any questions, so please you can ask it, so we can discuss that point and then we can go ahead. Does anyone has any question with this?
You can go ahead, Nishant. I ask them to unmute and ask questions whenever they feel they want.
Sure, not a problem.
Yeah, you can go ahead, Nishant.
Okay, so sure. So at this point, not going into the very much technicalities of the what Android is. So what is an Android? So it is a bridge between a user and the mobile handset. So it enables user to use the mobile handset effectively and use its different features that are available in the mobile handset. So that is what is the role of an Android operating system. Okay, so now we know that basically this Android operating system is created and now maintained by the Google. But actually before that, there was a person whose name is Andy Rubin. Basically, at the beginning, he created an Android operating system, and later on, Google took over this operating system and developed it into the form that we see it today. Okay, so the actual creator of the Android operating system is an Andy Rubin. So now we always say that Google is working on this Android operating system. This Android operating system belongs to Google, but actually it is not just about to Google. There is a bunch of companies, around 40 to 45 companies, that they are continuously working on this Android operating system. Okay, so that the group of companies is basically called OHA, that is Open Handset Alliance. Okay, and what kind of companies they are? So they are handset manufacturers, semiconductor companies, then uh, some commercialization companies, then of course the software companies are there, and mobile operators. So all such kind of companies are working together to come up with an very popular operating system nowadays, that is called Android. And this group is called an OHA, that is Open Handset Alliance. Okay, so now if we see what are the different applications or appliances in which we can use Android operating system. So we'll see an examples of it. So of course, first of all, we use the Android system in different phones. Okay, so one more interesting thing about the Android operating system is the HTC was the first mobile manufacturer who launched Android operating system in its mobile. So HTC was the mobile which launched the Android operating system first in the market, and later on other manufacturers adopted it. Okay, so nowadays we see Android operating system in different mobile phones. Apart from that, it is also used in tablets. So we can see lots of versions and very different variations that are available for the tablets in the market. And now it is not just restricted to phone and tablets. So nowadays it is also used in TVs, watches, or even embedded devices. So this is how the expanse of Android operating system is happening in the current world. Okay, so now we'll see also try to understand what is the current status of an Android operating system in the market. Okay, so let's have a brief look at this graph. So if you see this blue one is the Android operating system, then this dark blue is the iOS. So even if we see only these two operating systems, so in now 2009 the Android was just 3.9% and iOS was 14%. And now if we see it in the 2015, so Android is almost 80% and iOS is still the same, that is 15%. So this much popular is Android operating system and Android app development is. Okay, so it is not just popular because Google is handling it, but there are lots of reasons behind this why it is so popular. So we'll try to understand these reasons also. So very first reason in it is Android is open source. Okay, so what do we mean by open source? So open source always comes with two features in it. So first feature is it's open source in the sense it is freely available in monetary terms. We do not have to pay anything for it. So this is one aspect of an open source. And what is the other aspect? So open source means the source code of an operating system is available for all the people to download it, modify it, and again redistribute it or make it available to all the people. Okay, so it is open source in both the terms, monetary as well as from the making modifications in the operating system code itself. Okay, so this makes Android operating system very popular in the market and also in the developers.
I have questions.
Yeah.
When it comes to like open source, this is like when developing the Android that application and tablet related application, is it
Right.
following a same API or anything like is it changing like API versions, what like similar Java how the API is there for developing the application. So is it the same type of API or for applicable for both? For
Yes, for tablets.
yes,
You are asking for tablets and mobile phones, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yes. So 70 to 80% APIs are same because what happens, there are some different features available in uh, let's say tablets which are not available in mobile, and it is other way around also. It is true, there are some features in mobile that are not available in the tablet. So because of this differences, there are some different APIs available in mobile phones as well as tablets, but otherwise the way we develop application, the way we develop design the looks and feel of an Android application, that is same for tablet as well as the mobile phones. But let's
Okay,
say
what about like is it like standard API like Java versions are changing? Is there any versions are changing like that?
yes, there is a standard API for it. So Android itself has provided all the functions, all the classes and APIs that are required from for design as well as development of mobile application or even for tablet.
No. My question is like developing Android. Is it versions are changing continuously or how Java is changing? Like now currently Java 8 is 10 like that is the version wise changing or not?
Okay, means you are saying whether the use of how Java is changing for this Android application, right?
No, he's asking like
Similar
API any
like
versions. In API any versions are there?
Mhm. For
now
API.
see, my question is for this Android developing, when you're running that applications, so are
Mhm.
you running the JDK only, no, using JDK, correct?
Okay,
Uh,
yeah, I got the question, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so of course for Android development we require JDK, but only JDK is not enough because as we move ahead we are going to see lots of things because whenever we use Java, JDK is required. So of course it is the essential part of it, but it is not enough. We require certain Android related compiler as well, that is called a DEX compiler to use Java into the Android operating system. So moving ahead, that also we are going to see how the Java code gets converted into the APK file. Okay, because APK file doesn't run on the normal desktop computer. We generally use it in the either mobile phones or tablets. Okay, so we are going to see what other things apart from JDK are required to convert this normal Java code into the APK file. Okay, so but that is correct, JDK is required, and that is required for development and not on the mobile phone. So let's say if we are using a laptop, so we'll require JDK on the laptop, and all things that are required to run the application on the mobile, so that are already available on the Android operating system. So we do not need anything from mobile phone point of view.
Okay, so what version that like because current version is coming as a Java 8, no? So how like what version that JDK is implementing there?
Yes. So generally, if we consider Android Studio, so first of all, we need to check whether our operating system is 32-bit or 64-bit. So whatever is the version of our operating system, we need to download the Android Studio with the same version, because if your operating system is 64 and if we download the Android Studio for 32-bit, it will not match and it will not work. Okay, so now generally Android Studio supports 7.79 version of JDK. So generally we use that one. So even if we see here, now I have two Java versions here, so we can check it. So let's say we write here. Okay, so I have two versions. So one is 1.1.8.51. So because I have two development environments in my on my machine. So one is using 1.8, but the Android Studio is using 7.79 version of JDK. So generally we require that. So we just need to check whether it is a 64-bit or 32-bit, and we can download the 7.79 version of JDK. Okay, but it's
Okay.
better to download an Android Studio first and then check what JDK version is required for that Android Studio. So it is better to check that on the either internet. So what will happen? The Android Studio itself will directly go to, lead us to that Java site, and we'll be able to download it from there.
So for developing with there, we can use any IDE, or is it related to Android IDE, like Android Studio, or we need to use? Like for example, Exam Center we can use.
Yes, actually, when we download it, so it comes in an exe file. So when we install it, we'll directly get an IDE like this. Okay, so let's say we have some mismatch with the Java version or anything. So there is this window at the bottom of this Android Studio. You might be seeing this skipping unknown process PID. Everything is written onto it. So we'll see the errors in this windows as well related to the mismatch of JDK. So we'll be able to identify what version is required for it. Okay, but basically 7.79 version is supported by this minimum 7.79 version is required for this Android Studio.
Okay.
Yeah. So now one more interesting thing about this Android is there are around 40 million applications already available on the Play Store. The reason behind so many applications being available are because since it's the open source, so many people or and developers are continuously working on it, maybe in some companies or as an individual out of interest or as freelancers or through business. So lots of people continuously working on the improvement of Android operating system. So that's why so many applications are available. And apart from that, uh, a few very peculiar features of this Android operating system is it is low cost, customizable, and very lightweight for an operating system of highly technical devices or devices with highly complex technologies, right? And as we discussed before, so apart from smartphones, it is available smartphones and tablets. It is also used for TVs, then video game consoles, watches, and other embedded devices or electronic devices. Right. Now, if we see the different versions that are available for the Android operating system, so there is a kind of a if we observe the different names given to this, so basically what we'll observe, so basically they are the Android versions are named in a kind of an alphabetical manner. So if we see there is a cupcake version which starts with C, then there is a donut version that is D, then eclair, froyo, gingerbread, then honeycomb, ice cream sandwich, jelly bean, Kit Kat. Now lollipop is there, and the latest one is the marshmallow. Okay, so these are the names of the Android operating system. And even Cupcake, there was a Blender operating system and Astro. So that it is starting from A till M, we have the marshmallow version. So this is the latest one that is available in the market. Okay, and all these operating system have improvements in certain features of an Android also. So that is why their API level is also goes on increasing. So currently for Marshmallow, the API level is 23. So when we download the have a phone with a Marshmallow operating system, so it has an API level of 23. Okay, so we can see this here also. So let's say if we go to this tools, and if we open this Android and SDK manager, that is software development kit manager. So if you open this, so you will see Android 6, that is Marshmallow. API level is 23. Okay, and revision is 3. So update available. So this is just for downloading. Just to give you an example, this is how the things are available. So if we see what SDK tools are available, so you will see lots of version here, right from 23, 25, lots of different versions are available. So what is the good thing about Android Studio is we do not need to install the things manually or dependencies manually. We can just go to this SDK, and if we have an internet connection, it directly goes and downloads the things for itself. Okay, so that is a very good part of an from Android Studio IDE. Okay, so of course during course we'll see all these things in details. Okay, so now this is about the high level architecture of an Android operating system. So at the base of it, there is a operating system or Linux kernel. Then there is a middleware. So we are going to see what do we mean by middleware, and there are key applications. So what do we mean by key applications? So key applications means there are certain applications that they come with each and every version of an Android operating system. So like messaging, then telephone, then let's say notepad applications are there, browsers are there. So these are the key applications that are shipped with the operating system itself. Okay, and after this we are going to deploy our own user created or custom applications on this key applications layer. So let's have a look at this architecture. Okay, so if we see this, this is the Linux kernel. So what do we mean by Linux kernel? So Linux kernel basically contains a very important part of an any operating system. Basically, it is a 90% part of an 80 to 90% part of an any operating system. So that contains very invaluable components of an operating system, like process management, then different device drivers, memory management, then network management, then file system management, how to manage the file system, then storage part. So all these are the features of an Linux operating system, and all these facilities are provided by the Linux kernel. Otherwise, if we remove this kernel features, then there is nothing left in the operating system. So this almost consumes the 80% part of the any operating system. Okay, then on the top of that, now after this Linux kernel, now we are moving upward, that is towards more of a Android specific part. Okay, so what do we mean by Android specific part? So on the top of Linux kernel, certain libraries are provided, predefined libraries, so which include this service manager, then media framework for using the media in our mobile phone. Now some libraries related to the SQLite database. Then for web services, we have this WebKit. So all this, then this SSL is for security. Then OpenGL for visual effects and all these things. So we have some predefined libraries here. Okay, and the most important part of this second layer is Android runtime. Okay, so we'll understand this runtime in detail, but just let's have a look at this architecture first. So on top of this, actually we can directly have applications. Okay, but what is the case? To run these applications means if we observe a normal application, so what we do, we install some applications, uninstall them, disable them, enable them. So to perform all such operations with the applications, we need some application manager as an intermediate layer between kernel libraries and applications. Okay, so after these libraries we have that intermediate layer that is called application framework. So if we have seen the contents of our training course, so you will find most of the words here. So activity manager, notification, location manager, then content provider. So we are going to learn all these things, how to use all these application related features. Okay, and on top of this application framework, there are installed applications. Okay, so these are the predefined applications like contacts, phone, browser, messaging, and we'll add our own user created applications as well in this layer. Okay, so this is an overview and architecture. So now we'll try to understand from our development point of view. Our most important part is this Android runtime. So we'll see what it is. Yes. So we'll understand this. So when we talk about Java, we might have come across a word that is called JVM. Okay, so what does it mean? It means Java Virtual Machine. So what is the role of JVM? So role of JVM is to enable a code that is to enable the code that is written in Java to execute on the operating system. So it provides all the libraries and all the environment that is required for the Java code to be executed on the operating system. Now the same role is played on the Android operating system by a software component that is called DVM or Dalvik virtual machine. So this Dalvik virtual machine helps our application to be executed on the our mobile phones. Okay, so this is called a virtual machine, which it provides a virtual environment for our application to execute on the mobile phone. Okay, so now we'll see what is the role of this. So when we develop an application, so basically we write it in the .java file or Java language. Okay, so now there is a Java compiler, Java C. So what does that Java compiler do? It converts the .java file into the .class file. So till this point we have the same functionality as we have for normal Java applications. Okay, but after this .class files the things change for Android. Now there is one specific interpreter that is called DX interpreter. Okay, so what does this DX interpreter does? It changes this .class file into, converts this .class file into the .dex file. Okay, and this .dex file is ultimately gets converted into the .apk that we actually install in our mobile phones. So this is how the .java gets converted into .apk. So now all these are already available in this Android Studio. This conversion parameters, this Java compiler, this Dex compiler, all these are available in this Java Studio. So we need not worry about how to install them, how to execute them. So Android Studio will automatically execute and convert the file into the APK. So our job is to just take that APK and install it in emulator or mobile handset. Okay, so this is basically flow of development. How we convert, how we start development with the .java file, and what actually we get to install on the mobile applications. Okay, so this is so we have just seen at this in this first session. Uh, we have seen it in very brief introduction, but as we'll go ahead, we'll start developing applications. So we are going to discuss these points in detail as well. So just to show and basically when we start developing an application, so I'll just give you an overview of it. Uh, uh, so basically when we use this, we have this our project that is called layouts demo. Then these are the different layouts, or we also call as these are views. So if you see what views are available, so you will see here there is a text view, then there are buttons, radio buttons, checkbox, then toggle buttons, progress bars, seek bar, rating, spinner. So we are going to learn all these things. Then there are text fields like password, email, number, all these uh, text fields are there. Then containers like list views, grid views, then horizontal scroll, vertical scroll. If we can see tabs in many applications, so we are going to see how to use these tabs also in our applications. So all such containers and all such views, we are going to use it from this panel. Okay, and this is the design view that we can see. Means if we change the design, I'll give you an example how the design goes on changing. So we are able to see it on the screen what we have designed. Okay, so this is one design that has been created. Then this is Android app development. So this we are learning something. So this is there. So we are going to see one by one how to develop these different things, how to create these designs. So all these things we are going to learn. Okay, so this is regarding the design part. And so now how do we design this? So generally we design it into the XML file. We create the design in XML file and we create the logic behind this design in Java files. Okay, so this is a Java file. This is a code written in Java. Okay, so once we'll start writing small applications in regular sessions, so you will get very comfortable with all these things. What is this on create? What is being activity? So you will be very much expert into using all these things. Once we start actually working and developing applications from scratch. Okay, so this is how we are going to move ahead. How we are going to see design and development part. So I guess I have given you a good overview about training as well as how we are going to cover all these things. So if you have any questions, so please you can ask me so we can discuss certain points. Are there any questions from anybody?
In the development point of view, like so you are starting from the screen design along with how the functionality wise how it's working. Like for example, the Wi-Fi if anything enabled.
Right.
So once in enabled, if you connect to any internet like Google internet, how it's interacting that one. So are you going covering that also? Something
Yes.
like a functionality. Yeah.
Yes, so if you see this content, means after the let's say when we'll go on understanding Android more and more and how to develop the application. So on later topics we are going to move towards the hardware part of it. So hardware means Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, then camera, audio, video. So all these things we are going to learn. These sensors. Then even this Wi-Fi part is there. Understanding the Wi-Fi mechanism, this managing connections, managing Wi-Fi networks. So we are going to cover that as well. Then also related to the SMS and making phone calls. So we are going to see that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Girish, do you have any questions?
Yeah. If it is not audible, you can type it in also so that I'll be able to understand.
Yeah, if you okay, fine.
Okay. Yeah. No
Yeah,
questions.
thank you for joining Girish and Sarvan. I will
Yes.
call back you tomorrow and
So,
get the feedback. And
so I
thanks,
hope this
Nishant.
was useful for you. Wait.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I hope this was useful for you. So even if you have any questions or queries, you can ask them with Subhash also, so that we'll be able to discuss them later on. Yes, Subhash, you can go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Nishant. Thank you for your wonderful presentation. And
Yeah.
thanks for participation, Girish and Sarvan. I will
Yeah.
contact you
Thanks,
soon.
everyone. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, Girish and Sarvan.